Good morning, Allapattah Flats, Miss Stewart's 7th grade middle school civics class. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Port St. Lucie's virtual town hall for youth. And we are excited to talk to you about local government and what this city does provide for you. From everything from your parents stopping at a stop sign in their car to the water that you turn on to brush your teeth is all your local government. And I have an incredible panel of experts here to answer your questions. And I know you've seen their pictures and you've read their bios. And here I'd like to introduce you to Officer Fred Knaggs from the City of Port St. Lucie's Police Department.
Good morning.
Then I've got our Communications Director, Sarah Prohaska.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
And there in the middle is our Mayor, Shannon Martin.
Good morning, students.
And then we have Ella Gilbert, who is our Deputy City Attorney.
Good morning.
And then on the end is Kate Parmelee, our Strategics Initiative Director.
Good morning. Good to see you all.
Mr. Stewart, if you could help us through and give us an idea of what your class is, if you can give us an overview of you and your class, and then maybe start introducing your students for the questions. We'd really appreciate that.
Alrighty, yes, ma'am. So this is a 7th grade civics class here in the district. So the students learn everything about from basically the duties and obligations of citizens of our country, all the way to how the government works and how it functions. So we haven't gotten to our local government unit yet. So this is a great introduction to them to learn a little bit how local government works, which we're going to get to later in the year. Would you like us to start asking the questions that the kids came up with?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
All right. First on the list, we have Lamora. Lamora, you want to step up and ask your question?
Hello. What service provided by the local government is most beneficial to the community?
Thanks so much for the question, Lamora. I appreciate it. So I'd say that the most important service that the City of Port St. Lucie provides to you and your family is public safety. Safety is our first priority, always and foremost, and that is provided to you and your families and all of our citizens through several departments in our city. The first most obvious one being our police department, keeping our residents safe here, addressing concerns and needs when the police are needed and called. Our public works department provides safety to you through our roads and our sidewalks and road repavement plans and making sure that we have safe, clean roads in the city for you to travel on and traverse the city through. Our utilities department, because they provide you with the safe, clean drinking water that you have, and that comes through your faucets every single day. And all of these departments work together on a very regular basis to make sure that we're providing the utmost safety we can. Our communications department is also an important tool because they get the information out to you that you need in order to know what's going on in the city, especially when it comes to disasters and hurricanes and any flooding issues that are in the city. And they will make sure that you have all that up-to-date, real-time information to know what's going on. So again, safety is #1 priority, keeping us that way for the future. We are the safest large city in the state of Florida with populations of over 100,000. And we're going to continue doing that because that's what we think is the best thing we could possibly do for you.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right, Samantha, you want to come up and ask your question?
Are there any opportunities or programs for a student my age to get involved in the community? If so, can you tell me about a few?
Samantha, thank you so much. I'm going to take this question because I have actually 2 kids your exact age. I have a 6th grader and an 8th grader. And one of the things that we have done as a family and just with some of their friends And it's a really easy thing that any one of you guys can do is we adopted a park. So by adopting a park through the city, we go out there, the city gives us the cleanup tools we need, we get the litter grabbers, they give us the bags, and we go out there every once a month, just for about an hour to Whispering Pines Park, which they go and, they go run around after we're done. And we help keep Whispering Pines Park clean. We assist the city by doing that, and that is one way that kids your age can really get involved and make a real difference in the city. Because Port St. Lucie, if you drive around Port St. Lucie and you compare Port St. Lucie to other cities, really, we're really clean. Like, there isn't a lot of litter, and it's because of our volunteers. Our volunteers adopt streets and adopt parks, and they help. Of course, the city has staff that goes out and is paid to help keep the city clean, but without the help of our citizens, our city would not be as clean as it is. And compared to a lot of other cities, we're pretty clean. And it's a really nice thing when you have visitors who come to visit you. It's nice to have a beautiful, clean city to show off. So that is one really easy way that someone your age can get involved and actually make a difference in the city. We have Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful, which is a city department, and they have an Adopt a Street program. So you and your friends can get together, adopt a street. You get a sign put out in the street or the park that you adopt, has your name on it. It's pretty cool. You can take pictures in front of it and show it off. And it really is. It's just an hour a month where you can go out and then go have fun with your friends. But that's a simple, easy way I would encourage all of you to look up Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful on the website. Go to Google and just Google Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful, and there's a phone number on there where your parents can call and sign you up. And I know my kids do it, and it really makes a difference in their lives that they can see that they're helping make a difference in the community, and that's just a really easy way to do it. So I really appreciate your question. There's lots of other programs too, but I would say if you really want to get started quickly and make a difference really fast, adopting a street or adopting a park and helping us keep it clean is a really great way to do that.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Alrighty, next up we have Kiera.
Okay. What led you to serve your local government rather than just performing your civic obligations only?
Hello, Kiera. I'm going to take that question. One thing I had to do was do some research on what my civic obligations were. And when I looked it up, I saw the first is to obey the law, pay taxes, defend our nation, and serve on juries. And I come from a family that has a commitment to the community. And so that was impressed on me early on. And the obligations are like our baseline requirements of life. And I wanted to do something a little bit beyond that. So I decided to pursue a career in government, and specifically local government gives me that opportunity to interact with people on a ground level, to solve problems on a day-to-day basis that I can actually see the results from those problem-solving initiatives pretty quickly. And that was what led me to serve in local government. I still obey the law. I still pay my taxes. I have not become a member of the armed services to defend the nation. However, my father was. And unfortunately, I have not had an opportunity to serve on a jury. I would love to do so, but I have not had a chance yet. But thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is Gerald.
Hello. How do you view the relationship between the police and citizens, and what would you like us to know about your job?
Gerald, good morning. First, thank you for that question. I can only speak my personal views, and I can only speak for the agency that I work for. I will say that what you may see in media and social media is a very small slither of the pie. So, my personal view is that we in Port St. Lucie have a very great relationship with our citizens. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that our agency takes a proactive approach. We have enhanced training. We also have technology at our fingertips. We have cultural diversity training. And the key is community partnerships. As citizen input, which we do listen to our citizens, they are involved, and it is very critical to our agency and the way we interact with the citizens. And ultimately, I think where we live and where I work is just a special bond between us and the citizens. What I will say is that, yes, of course, any city, especially a city of our size, where we are getting over that 200,000 resident mark, we are going to have crime. But the key point that I'd like to make is that if you live in the city of Port St. Lucie, you live in a very safe city. And when we do have crime, we address that crime. And once we address that crime, we start putting bad people away and get them away from the good people. So I appreciate that question, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jared. Very nice answer. All right, Rachel, you want to step up and ask your question?
How important do you believe parks and recreation areas are for the youth in our community?
Well, thank you again for another question. As a parks officer, I see firsthand what our parks and recreation facilities do for our youth in the city. And I think the key is that the more parks and recreation facilities that we have, the more not only opportunities to stay active, but the more opportunities youth have to community service. Just like Sarah spoke about, getting involved, especially adopting a park. I see a lot of our families out in our parks cleaning up. So it is about our employees, but again, as I said in the previous question, it has a lot to do with the involvement of our citizens. And I think that is the special part. We have currently over 51 parks and recreation facilities in the city. And I think for a city our size, that's pretty amazing. But the key is that we're still growing that, right? I was part of an initiative that we brought together a bunch of people and said, what would it look like if our citizens could walk, every citizen in the city could walk to a park? What would that look like? So that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's large baseball field parks, what we would consider a community or a regional park. But what about our neighborhood parks? Or even just a fitness station in the area of where we live, where we would be able to walk and still be a part of nature and the community. So again, I think Parks and Recreation here in our city allows our youth and our adults to stay active.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Layla.
Hello. If you weren't working for the city, what would you like to be doing as citizens to help our community?
Thank you so much. That's a great question. So I think I could probably speak for everyone up here in saying one of the reasons we do work for the city is because we really enjoy helping people, and working for a government agency is, and especially the city government, because we are the government that's closest to the people, and our services affect your daily lives. So I think. One of the reasons we work for the city is because we like to help people. So if I didn't work for the city, I think I would still try to figure out a way to have a job or a volunteer opportunity where I could still help the community using my skills. So my skills are, I run the city's communications department, and what we do is we put out all the information about everything that everyone here at the city is doing to the residents, and we try to get the right information to the right people at the right time. So whether that means if it's during an emergency or a hurricane and you really need to know, is it time for me to put up my shutters, or your parents need to know, do we need to go to a shelter? We're the department that puts that information out to help people prepare for emergencies. And we actually put information out to let you know about fun things happening in the city, like our upcoming Fall Fun Fest and our Festival of Lights. So if we weren't here putting that information out, we'd have these events and no one would show up. So that's we don't want that to happen. And but it's also things that affect your daily lives, like you know, is the speed limit changing on a certain road, or a traffic light might be malfunctioning. We need to let people know that. So that's what we do. So I think if I didn't work here, I would try to find another way to do that. Whether it's working for we have a lot of great community-oriented nonprofit organizations in the city. So whether it be using those skills to help a nonprofit like the Boys and Girls Club, or there's lots of great organizations in the city of Port St. Lucie that really do start, the Humane Society, that try to help the community outside of the government. So I would probably search for a way to use my skills to help the community in another way. And that is another great thing about working for the government is a lot of people here come from a lot of diverse backgrounds, and they take the skills that they've learned at other jobs, say, you know, in the private sector, and they can utilize them here. So yeah, I would just look for another way to use my skills to really try to help the community. That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, our next student is Paige.
Hi. What impact does a mayor have on the community, and what plans do you have for the future of the community as the chief executive of our local government?
Thanks so much, Paige. That's an amazing question. So the impact that the mayor has on the community is very, very big. So the mayor's job, my job, is to be the lead elected official that works with the citizens in our community. I lead the council in debate and decision-making processes here when we have our meetings every 2 weeks, making decisions for you and your families to develop with the council strategic plans and goals, working with our city team to make sure that those goals are implemented, and also working with other governmental agencies to be the lead representative and basically the face of the city, and say, hey, this is what the city of Port St. Lucie would like to do. How can we work together? How can we partner? Meeting with our county commissioners, meeting with our state legislators and some of our congressmen and senators to really put forth our views and our goals and our thoughts and how we can work together to move Port St. Lucie forward in the best direction. And then as far as our plans for the future of the city, we have a strategic plan, and that revolves around several goals about, again, keeping us safe, clean and beautiful, providing culture, nature, and fun, making sure that we have good roads, plenty of sidewalks for all of you, making sure that we are providing a very high level of service to you. And we work on these goals every single solitary day through our city team, different city departments that work together, and we talk about them on a quarterly basis to make sure that we're following through on what we say we were going to do. And we also listen to you on a very regular basis, you, your parents, all the citizens, the businesses in the community, to make sure we're all staying in line to make Port St. Lucie the best it can be. So thanks again. I really appreciate your question.
Thank you guys so much. Next we have Frederica.
Do local elected officials have political parties? How you can promise with others who disagree with your view for the community?
Good morning, Frederica. Thanks so much for that question. So here in Port St. Lucie, we do not have political parties. We run on what's called a nonpartisan basis. We don't claim a party. And really, most of the decisions, or all the decisions that we make here on our local level, really don't involve party politics. When we're making decisions about building a road or making a decision about adding more police officers to serve our community because we are growing, those really don't involve party politics. That's just what's doing best for our city based on what the needs of our city are. So we try very hard not to get into that. And when it comes to compromising with others, it's really important to listen. It's important to listen to everyone's different perspectives on things, different points of view, because when you do that and you look at things from a bigger picture standpoint and different perceptions and needs, that's how you make the best decisions for the community. And you know what? You're not always going to agree. I don't agree all the time with some of the thoughts that my other colleagues have here on the dais, my council members. Sometimes I don't agree with certain departments and, ideas that they bring forward. But it's important not to just shut those ideas down. It's important to hear people out, work with them, and come up with compromises to make the best decisions for the city. Because if you're not listening, you're not learning and growing. So we all have to listen to each other and hear what everyone has to say, because everyone has different perspectives and great ideas. And when you can marry those ideas together, that's how we make Port St. Lucie the best it can be. So thanks again.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next we have Desmond with his question. Desmond, want to step up here?
Hello. How does the phrase "we the people" in the preamble to the Constitution influence how you perform your job?
Well, thank you, Desmond. I know I'm taking this question. I thank you so much for that question. I think that's a wonderful question, and I think it is an important way to how you frame and how you do local government. So I'm just going to tell a little bit of a little story. I started in local government 20 years ago. My first job was working in a neighborhood as a neighborhood planner, and we were coming up with a plan for the next 30 years of what that neighborhood could become. It had a lot of issues with crime, with disinvestment. It had a lot of, kind of not enough sidewalks, not enough things for kids to play with. It had a lot of issues. The neighborhood was actually called Golden Gate in Stewart. I don't know if you're familiar. They used to call me Golden Gate Kate in the beginning days. So, but that first neighborhood, though, my job was to sit across kitchen tables and talk to residents and find out what they wanted to see in their neighborhood. So I got to go around the entire community, hear from everyone. And one of the things we decided to do is there were a lot of kids in that neighborhood. So we created this youth planning initiative where we involved kids in planning for the future. We gave them disposable cameras and said, take a picture of what you like about your neighborhood and what you don't like about your neighborhood. And funny story, 20 years ago, the Palm Beach Post had a reporter that covered what we were doing in that neighborhood. And our communications director was that reporter. And she published those pictures those kids took on the front page of the newspaper. And just showed me, again, when you say we the people, it was where it all started for me was you are who we serve. Our people in our neighborhoods, we ask something's not good about your community, so you want to make your community better. We provide an opportunity for you to give us input, and we try to come up with a solution to make things better so you have a better quality of life, so you feel safer, so you have more things to do, more things to play with, so your lives are better because we are here to serve you. So fast forward 20 years, and I'm now working in Port St. Lucie with Sarah and on outreach and working with the community. And Port St. Lucie, is more than any place I've ever worked, lives this. Because it's our vision statement is a city for all people. We have a citizen-driven strategic planning process, and that's my work, is I get to help support them, but our city council is what has led the charge. They said, we need to talk to the residents, we need to find out from you what you want. And so we've come up with a process where we survey you every year. We have a random sample, the National Community Survey. Make sure your parents take that survey when it comes to your house, because we use that to make decisions. We have a citizen summit where anyone can come in, and we have activities for all ages where you can drop in and give your feedback. Let us know where you think we should spend more of your taxpayer dollars, what we should do to change all the strategic goals that the mayor spoke about. That's your chance to give us input on that. And then our city council uses your feedback and really, really studies your feedback more. Again, it's really, really neat to watch how they really listen. And then they come up with projects, and they look at their budget, and they figure out how to fund as much as we can with the funds that we have and how we can make a difference based on you. The City of Port St. Lucie received a national award for this, the Voice of the People Award. We're the only city in the state of Florida that received this award, and those are given to cities that best listen to and respond to your feedback. So I thank you for your question. We really believe in we the people, and we and you as the City of Port St. Lucie have a voice in your city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last question comes from Corin.
How is the local government affected by decisions made by the federal and state governments?
Thank you, Corin. Ms. Parmelee and I work together on the grants and advocacy team here with the City of Port St. Lucie. And an example of both how the federal and state government make decisions and that it impacts the city is at the federal level, there is something called the American Rescue Plan Act. And that is an allocation of dollars to cities and counties throughout the United States to help with recovery efforts as a result of COVID. Now, on the state side, the state has a budget, and the city goes up to Tallahassee each year and submits appropriations requests, which is basically asking for money. And so last year, although we went through the process at the state legislative level to request monies for a road that we needed here for jobs, it was actually funded not by the legislature, but by the executive branch, by the governor's office through the Economic Development Office, which is an agency of the state. So we partner with both the state and the federal government, asking for monies to implement projects here at the local level. And I'm not sure if Ms. Parmelee wanted to add anything else to that response.
Absolutely. There's different laws. There's state laws, there's federal law, there's, local law. So I think we always have to say, maybe there's a state law or federal law that Port St. Lucie would like to change or would like to see made, just improved. So we try to give feedback to our state and federal lawmakers on that. And then, of course, as Ella mentioned, we tried to get some grants dollars, so it's additional money. If you've been to Sportsman's Park, that playground, that brand new playground that has just recently been improved, one of the ways we did that was we received a $250,000 state grant that let us make that playground a unique abilities playground so we could be more inclusive and provide more, and that came from state dollars. So we really thank our state senator, our state representatives, in helping us with that. So we try to bring those dollars back to Port St. Lucie at the state and federal level to make your city a better place to live. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart, for this incredible opportunity. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, we appreciate your time so much answering some of our questions. I think we all very enjoyed. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Go Allapattah Flats.
Gators.